Okay, so we're now at the part of the project where we need to work on the braking system. I remember before I parked this up, this is the 250cc scooter project. If you're not following it, you can check out previous episodes. Basically changing as many things as I can on this bike to get it back on the road. It's been parked up for a good 5 or 6 years, and yeah. So before I parked it up, I remember I bought brake pads for this. I changed the front ones because it was fairly easy to change. The rear ones I did not change, and look at this. I'm surprised it passed its past MOT. You should have pads in there. You can see it's more on metal, but yeah, the exhaust is quite difficult to take off. It's an Allen key, so I didn't remove the exhaust at the end. I just used a spanner and managed to take out the brake pad system. It's rusty. It does need an overhaul, so I'm going to do a full overhaul in this video and show you exactly how I do that. Let's get these pads out and just make sure the pads I ordered are definitely the right ones. And the best way to do that is to take the pads out. You can see it's just everything's a bit like clunky. It's not really smooth. It should be smoothly moving, and there the pads totally just been gone. So now we're basically going to slowly check and make sure. So I'm placing the old pads on top of the closed pads of the previous ones. That's why they're in a clear envelope. I'm going to take off the line, the brake line for the rear brake. So the brake fluid needs changing. It's gone very yellowy, and I also discovered while watching this back that the copper, you'll see that copper see that washer there just dropped down, that was actually in the bottom when I mistakenly put it on the top when I put the stuff back together, which you'll see later on in the video. So I will have to go back and change that and put the copper pipe below, because in theory there is already a copper pipe attached in the top. But you'll see I'm using the basic tools, nothing special, just getting the pads off at the moment, and then we're going to do the overhaul. So here we have the pads indoor, I'll call it the caliper indoor. The not pistons, what do you call those little sliders that push the brake pads, whatever you call them, they were fully extracted, so they needed cleaning. I'm using brake fluid cleaner here, and just have a container below you so it catches all the offall, and we're going to slowly basically work our magic and get these clean. I'll speed this bit up not to bore you totally, but you want them to be as smooth as possible, using an old toothbrush and some wire wool, and basically getting them to a point where I can push them back in. So I'm using a hand vice, you can call that, clamp, and slowly just pushing them and winding them in and bringing those right back in the pistons to be able to put the new pads in, because there's a good couple of mil of pad on the new one. I didn't push them in all the way because I wanted to see how much I'll need for the pads. So you'll see this is how it kind of fits, but yeah, it's upside down, so it's hard to show you here. But we'll show you the pads. Okay, so there we go. We've got the pads and they look perfectly fine. That's how we should have some, obviously, ceramic pads touching. Is it ceramic? I can't remember what make it was, but yeah, so I'm putting them in just to see how much gap I've got in the middle, because remember your disc is going to go between these. So I discovered, actually, wait a minute, I need a bit more space there. So I just fully push the pistons back into the caliper to give me enough space when I'm putting it back on the bike. I don't have to take it off again and then re-clamp in the pistons and stuff. Bit of a nightmare. So yeah, basically cleaning, wiping, making sure the pistons are clean and they're fully enclosed. And when I pushed them back in, I made sure to get all that extra gunk out from underneath there, and the old pads were shot 100% fully used, and now we've got a bit more space in between there where we'll be able to fit the, yeah, so I'm just checking the spacing there, and that looks good. Wipe, clean. You can use that brake cleaner more or less. I've got some .4 fluid in the background. You can see I've bought everything I need for this restore, and this main holder that screws onto the frame was quite bad, to be honest. I cleaned it up and I thought, you know what, it's quite late in the evening anyway, so I thought I'm going to paint it, leave it overnight. By tomorrow it will dry up so we can actually have a nice clean caliper, and I wire brushed it and stuff. So I'm just going to clean the main bits of dust off this and paint it as well. So yeah, I've basically wire brushed all the old paint because it was very scabby and it wasn't actually really nicely attached to the caliper holder. So I basically cleaned that off as best as I could. I got all the bits off, and then I took the little holders out for the brake pads and did a little bit of cleaning within there as well. So I basically checked the calipers, everything seemed fine, and then I wanted to make sure that I could paint them. And in the painting section, I'm using a matte paint here designed for metal, and there you can see it goes on nicely and leaves a matte finish, so at least that way I've got a bit more protection especially when all the dust particles from the brake pads comes off. It kind of sticks to everything, so if it's paint there, it'll be easier to wash it off when I'm washing it in future. It's going to be dry weather bike now going forward, because I'm just going to ride it in the main summer months and the nice weather. So you will be following my series, the 250cc scooter. We've done a number of things. Now we're on the calipers, which we're kind of drawing to the main bits being done. The cooling system's all been revamped. We've done the radiator, we've flushed it all out, put some new fluids in it, and here we go. So this is going to be for brake fluid bleeding. I'm using the old brake fluid bleed tool one-way valve thing I used before, but it's been sitting there for a while. So what I'm going to do is get some of that brake cleaner, put it in the pipe, and you see how good it is. You can see it's breaking up the old fluid that was sitting there, and it was quite cold, so I think it was actually kind of, well, gloggy. So here you can see it's cleaned it out totally. So when I use it now, at least I know it'll be a clean system. So they've dried overnight the caliper paint. You can see now it looks a lot better than what it did before. And I'm going to get those little metal inserts back in where the brake pads go in, and today's mission is going to be getting them back on the bike, bleeding it, putting the fluids in. Okay, so now we're fitting the caliper and the pads back on my rear bike mount frame. So I've already cleaned them out and done a good job at painting the frame of the caliper holder, so it was kind of very dusty and, well, the paint was coming off before. I'm using some brake cleaner to clean the pads so I don't get any squeaks and make sure that I'm putting them in the right way around. I'm going to put them, dry fit them on the bike, and then also clean the disc with the brake cleaner. So brake cleaner is basically a spray that you spray on there, and it gets rid of all the gunk and stuff on there. If there's anything greasy on there, you never know. So I'm making sure that it's nice and clean at entry point, and that will be attached to the bike. Make sure the wheel moves freely. You'll see I'm just checking that now and making sure the disc is okay. I also did check the disc with my fingers just to see if there's a lip at all, but luckily I got it at a point that the disc was not damaged by the old metal on metal pads being used for a while. But because it's been parked up so long, I'm surprised it didn't rust together, to be honest. But yeah, it's dry weather. Is stored under cover, and you can see the shocks we did previously as well. They look really nice in the background on the bike, the rear shocks. We took them off and painted them as well. I have some new ones coming which I'm still waiting for, but let's get this back on the bike and get some bolts in this and start getting the braking system back up and running. We should be good at this point, and you can see here is the 3 bolts that I'll attach in. Hand tighten them first, and then I'll use a spanner. The brake cable there, you can see, I'll show you the point where that copper washer I put in the wrong way around. So tomorrow I'm going to have to readjust that using a spanner to tighten these up again and make sure that all 3 are tight. The back wheel still spins. I'll show you how this works. So basically the pads pinch together and they stop the back wheel. Here's the main caliper with pistons pushed fully in. So here I'm going to attach the 2 long bolts which go through the caliper and into the back frame that I attached, the black one that I painted. And yeah, brakes are very important, so make sure you get this right. I'm basically just nutting them in, ratcheting them down, and you'll see that attachment cable right now here. See that has already got a golden washer, copper washer on top of it. When I put the nut in, I should have put what I just wiped. I should have put the other copper washer there, but I actually thought, oh, it's a washer for the top of the nut, and pushed it straight on top there. And I pushed it in now doing that, which was wrong. So I'm gonna have to undo that and put the copper washer back underneath. So I'm lucky I recorded it actually, because if I didn't see this back, I wouldn't have known I put that the wrong way around. So that looks good. We are good to go there. Next is going to be bleeding the system. So first we're going to take this little nipple off here, and that allows me to clean it and attach my one-way valve, which allows me to not suck air back in, but allow the air to bubble out. So on the top here, we're going to get access to the reservoir. Phillips screws to loosen them, but I had to take the front screen off because the other screw was a bit of a funny angle, so I took the front screen off. We're going to wash and clean that anyway, so I took it off. And here's the second screw. So that reservoir allows us to open it. Make sure you're on flat, even surface. Take that off. You'll have a little plastic container within there. Loosen the nut for the bleeding. There I'm attaching the little section on there now, so you can see it's basically bleeding braking systems, so you don't want any air in the system. So what we're going to do is put fluid into here, allow it to go through the system and come out the bottom. So this was fairly clean, to be honest. There wasn't any gunk or anything in there, so I'm just going to start using my dot 4. I'm not going to put it straight in because the containers are rubbish on these. I'm going to put it in the lid and put the lid into the reservoir. 2 capfuls is enough for each kind of section, because I'm going to basically use my brake and bleed out all of this fluid. So here, okay, that's fine. Now I'm basically pumping the brake while that fluid's in there. You can see the bubbles coming through here, but you'll see in the, I made a little shot of it, but yeah, so you'd see the bubbles and the fluid basically coming to this section. As soon as the fluid comes into this outer pipe, you'll see it's coming there slowly. It's basically, you want it to fill this pipe and not see any bubbles, because if there's no bubbles in this pipe, there's no bubbles in the other pipes. That's a layman's way of explaining it. But yeah, I'm pumping. I'll keep topping up the fluid as I'm doing this, because you want to keep putting fluid in. You don't want the reservoir running dry, because what will end up happening is you'll get air back into the system, which is the last thing we want. But there's a last little tip I'll show you at the end of the video that definitely ensures all the air bubbles are out. So here now I know there's fluid coming in, so I left a little container on the bottom, so if anything drips out, it drips into the container and not onto my floor. Okay, so that's all the bleeding done. I tightened the bolt back up and then everything was fine. What I'm doing now is overnight I'm going to leave it with a cable tie around the brake, back brake pushed, so any other bubbles will escape out of the reservoir on top. I'm leaving that open with just a little shell on the top to let the air escape, and that will ensure we don't have any bubbles. So that is how to bleed and sort out your braking system. And make sure you watch out the next episode. There's a lot more needs doing on this 250cc scooter. We're going to get it back on the road and it's going to be awesome.